All right, so here's the pretty much the completed skyhook for the Sparrowhawk, and a couple of things. You can see where I gusseted uh, these connections here, where the crossbar joins to the bottom of the framework, and it just means we just cut out a couple of these V-shaped sections from the 1/64th birch ply, and put one on either side of the joint. As you can see, probably better on the other side there. And what that does, then that allows you to fill with super glue and create a pretty good bond there. You've got bonding from the plywood to the tubing, and the tubing to itself, the two pieces of tubing together, and then you've got a cavity there to fill with adhesive. And also I've now coated it with the sand and seal product, and I let some of that run in there too. That it's like a white glue almost. It'll harden up in there and kind of fill that. So we'll put a couple more coats on as we go along. The hook, I just fashioned that. It's a sandwich of the birch ply down the middle in the center there, and then a 16th inch balsa on either side. So we just created a sandwich of the three pieces of wood, and then added some plastic extrusion at the base here, right at the bottom. That's just a piece of 16th plastic extrusion flat stock, and I wrapped it around a piece of 16th square stringer material right at the base here, at the front of that, inside of the strip stock, the plastic strip. And then a little bit more plastic detail to the either side of the hook, reinforcement where the the steel flat bar is attached to give the hook strength for the capture on the trapeze. So that's pretty much how it's going to look. I might be adding more filler and doing a little more sanding to the rail to get it smooth and round. But for the most part, we're pretty much there. This is the skyhook. Let's see if I can get that to stand again. There we go. So that's the skyhook for the Sparrowhawk. Pretty much. There's a bit of linkage. The pilot has a control lever by which he can reset this hook in flight. That is to say, if the bar is actuated and the hook closes before it actually captures onto the trapeze, he has to be able to reset that to reopen that. So what happens here is this rail tilts, and as it tilts, as the bar slides back, it tilts down, which closes the hook. And then there's a capture here at the back of the structure. So that's literally how this works. It's just a lever. It's just a lever for the hook to actuate the hook. And then there's a reset lever by which the pilot can pull back and release the bar back upward, and the hook then falls back outward. Well, I'm not going to replicate all the linkage and hinge the hook and hinge the rail. I'm just going to replicate the thing in its open and ready position, ready for capture, and that's typically how you would see the airplane in flight. It's not going to fly around with the hook closed. So that's how it's modeled. Hopefully, at least it looks appropriate. And again, a few more details will be added. We'll replicate the pins, the hinge pins, probably, and also the pilot control mechanism. I'll run a line down as it is in the drawings and in the photographs. It's either a cable or a very fine bar that runs down this leg and into the cockpit. I'm not going to model the lever and all that stuff inside the cockpit, but I think just enough to show that the pilot does have control over resetting this hook in flight. Right? And that's our That's pretty much the skyhook. Again, there'll be some a little bit more minor detail, but I wanted to show you how we can make pretty strong connections using just super glue when we're working with the aluminum. I don't have to solder or try to do anything tricky with that. We can get a pretty good look just with adhesive and gussets and whatever else we have at our disposal. So I hope that's helpful. I hope everybody can see that. And if you have any questions, just let me know in comments. Thank you.